Hey guys, how you doing? I'm going to show you how easy it is to just cook some healthy meals. So just bear with me because it's one of my first videos, but I'm not cooking too much just because I have some of my food prepared already. But just to give you an idea of what we're going to be cooking today, got some ground beef, got some chicken that's thawed out already, some brown rice, and I'm going to show you how I personally cook frozen veggies. You could go fresh and whatnot, and I'll explain that in other videos, but this is what we're going to be doing for today. Let's get started. So what I'm going to get started with is just some brown rice. Easiest thing to make for me. Brown rice. Put this on my rice cooker. Very easy. Just turn that bad boy on. And just gonna pour some rice in here. A couple days worth for me. This rice cooker is really easy. I got it from Costco. Add water. Just a little bit above where the rice is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stir it up a little bit. Just so it doesn't stick to the bottom. Great thing about this rice cooker is it has a brown rice button. Brown rice, and that's it. Just kind of forget it. Let it do its thing. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to work on our chicken. What I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of filleting my chicken just because it's easier to cook that way. Just get in little pieces. And then, me personally, I'm just going to season it with salt and pepper. You could kind of season it with whatever you want. I recommend Mrs. Dash. They have a bunch of different flavors. And they are 0 calories, so they're guilt-free. But do that, ginger, cayenne pepper, there's lots of different seasonings you could use. And primarily, I like to cook my chicken and a lot of my food actually on the Foreman grill. But don't cook too much at once because you have dry chicken. That's no fun to eat. Salt and pepper. Alright. Bring you over here to my Foreman grill. And just throw it on the grill. Takes probably, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to cook. For the chicken, I like to just check up every few minutes because if it's not cooked right, you'll know. About 10-15 minutes. Let that cook, and I'm gonna work cook on the we got left ground beef, and yeah, that'll give me a couple of meals worth, maybe day and a half, 2 days worth. Like I said, I got some meals ready already, but got some of the food defrosting here for tomorrow: tilapia and ground turkey. Let's go on to the ground beef. Okay, so now on to our ground beef, which I put in a bowl. So same thing, I'm going to season this with salt and pepper, and for this I'm going to add some Mrs. Dash. I'm going to add chicken flavor, yes, chicken on my ground beef, and steak. So you can see the nutrition facts for Mrs. Dash. It's, I don't know if you could see that, but it's almost zero everything. I don't know how they do it. But anyway, time to season. I like to use a lot of pepper. Salt. Mrs. Dash, I kind of just go crazy with it sometimes. I don't know if you can see that. That's not working. Alright, anyway, gotta get our hands dirty now. Okay, so yeah, we gotta get our hands dirty a little bit. Probably gonna add some more pepper. Told you to use a lot. I'm running out. Get our hands dirty. Mix it up in there. Always wash your hands before you cook. Alright. Try to heat it up a little bit. It's non-stick cooking square. Chicken's getting there. Pretty much almost done. I like to flip it around kind of halfway through. Yeah, look at all that fat that's dripping off. I don't know if you can see that. There's a lot, trust me. Let's leave it on for probably another 5 minutes. Should be good. Okay, so going back to ground beef. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna dump it in the pan pretty much. Sometimes I'll cook my ground beef on my Foreman grill. Actually, just recently, for some reason, found out that you could do that. Or I thought about it, whatnot, just to drain that excess fat. But I'll show you a way to drain some excess fat, even this way. So what you're gonna do with the ground beef is just gonna kind of break it up. I like to cook my ground beef a little bit slower, just because, I don't know, by trial and error, what I found out is if I cook it at a higher temperature, it cooks faster, but it also gets a lot drier. So we're going to do that. I'm going to get a lid, just because it's going to help cook on both sides a little bit faster. I'm just going to let that do its thing. In the meantime, I'm going to come back here and check on my rice. I'll just go in there and mix it. Every 10 minutes or so, just so it doesn't stick to the bottom, because you don't want to waste any food. What I have set up too, I got some Tupperware set up, because like we said, we got to prepare, and if we don't prepare, it's going to be tough to live this lifestyle. For frozen veggies, what I like to do is I just put it in Tupperware, throw it in the microwave for a few minutes, and that's it. I don't get too crazy with the frozen vegetables. Asparagus and whatnot, I'll usually cook them a little bit different. Just going back, checking on my ground beef. Yeah, so with the frozen vegetables, what I'll do, or what I would recommend doing, like if you're going to be working and obviously taking your food with you to work, is set up the day before, but have your meal ready, and if this particular meal requires some vegetables, put the frozen vegetables in there with the chicken or steak or whatnot. It's going to be a little bit watery, but it's not too bad. And just kind of leave it overnight. By the time you get to work and it's in your refrigerator at work, and it's going to be pretty much thawed out already, so then you just microwave your food. That's it. Pretty easy. Alright, I'm going to let this ground beef cook for a little bit. Let's check on the chicken. Chicken looks pretty much done. So what I'm going to do, I know it's a little bit messier, but I'm going to put it in a bigger container and then weigh it out. Much rather prefer cooking my chicken on a Foreman grill than anything else, just because it saves so much time. Unplug my Foreman. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a lot of fat. I got this out from the chicken. Chicken still has fat. It's not much, but I like to just get out as much as I can. Let's cover this. And I'll check back with you when I'm done with the ground beef. I think we're pretty much just done with the ground beef. Turn this down. Looks pretty good. If you look under here, there's a lot of fat. I don't know if you can see it. A lot of fat seeped to the bottom. Seeped to the bottom. But, like I said, I'll show you how to get rid of that. So for you, it might be a little bit faster for you to cook the ground beef. Ground turkey cooks very quick, but it might be a little bit faster for you to cook the ground beef. I just like to cook it slow, because I find out when I cook it at a higher temperature, it dries out faster. And since I'm cooking usually a couple days ahead of time, I don't want dry food. Okay, so now we are ready. It's pretty much done. Secret trick. A lot of people know, actually. It's not really a secret. I have a strainer in the sink. And pretty much just slowly, normally I would do this with 2 hands. Hold on. I'm already losing some food. It's in there now. Just gonna water it down. Yeah, this is a little bit of the flavors that we just put on there. Oh god, it's a bit wet. A little bit of the flavoring that we just used. You could always add more seasoning on there. So lose a little bit of seasoning, but you could always just add more. Just water it down a little bit. Looks like my rice is almost done. Again, the reason I mix it up is because I don't want it to stick to the bottom. And I would highly suggest, if you can, get yourself a rice cooker, preferably one that cooks brown rice too. Reason being is it's just saves you so much time. I'll have some other videos up. You could cook chicken at the same time as you're cooking brown rice. Knock out 2 birds in 1 stone. I just did it on the Foreman today instead. And once drain the excess fat, is first I'm going to dump it into the bowl. And then once the rice is done, I'll show you how I like to weigh out my food. We'll be back. Alright guys, and the rice is done. Now, pretty much one of, if not the most important thing, is measuring your food. I like to measure it. I'll count my calories by measuring it down the way, but measure it, put it in Tupperware. I have a electric scale. You don't have to get fancy. That's just what I prefer doing. Show you what I'm gonna do. Tupperware. So, here's my ground beef. Smells good. So, my container is about 1 ounce for ground beef. personally, I'm going to go for about 5 to 6 ounces on here. And again, it's all based on your goals and what you want for your diet. Perfect. So there's that, and I'm going to mix my ground beef with rice. Normally I would have the rice spread out in a container, plastic container like I put in for the chicken, but I'm just going to scoop it out of the rice cooker for time. So I'm doing a little less than a cup and a half of brown rice. For veggies, unless I'm having, I don't know. For veggies, I don't go too crazy as far as weighing them and whatnot, because especially if it's green veggies, the reason being is if you're working out regularly, it's going to be kind of going through you. What I mean by going through you is it's going to flush out fairly quick when you're sweating and whatnot. So I try not to worry about it too much until I want to get a little bit more detailed. But yeah, this is what one meal is. So I got brown rice on top, got my ground beef on the bottom. I'm gonna make a mush out of it, mix it up, and eat it that way. For me, it's easier to eat it that way than have my carbs first and then my protein next. That's how I like to eat mine. So that's basically how you prepare a meal. Everything in total took probably about an hour or so. Yeah, just about an hour, but the reason it took so long was just the rice cooker. Like I said, with the rice, nice thing about the rice cooker, you could leave it, you could do it before you go to work and then come back. It'll stay warm, and you could just dish it out. And for my extras, I'm gonna separate a couple more meals later, but so I still have a ton of ground beef. This is all the chicken I cooked. So what I didn't use, I'll just keep in those containers, keep in the refrigerator, and eat within the week or within a few days. That's it.